No, there's no redeeming quality to suffering whatsoever. As Richard Rose would say, why would an omnipotent being create a bunch of ignorant people and then torture them to make them better?
Mm.
Right? It makes no sense at all. Um, and all I'm saying here, of course, this is for everyone knows, this is a thesis. This is my opinion. This is my 25 years of research. Please don't instantly agree with it because I'm saying it. Please don't instantly disagree with it because it's difficult to hear. I present this really for others to just think,
Hmm.
just to take some time and contemplate. Um, because I see the world very, very differently now than anyone. I mean, I call this a suffering pit of hell. To me, that's what it is, with minor moments of very nice things in between. Like, do I like sometimes sitting outside by the lake on a warm day? Yes. Do I like scratching a dog and a cat sometimes? Yes. Are there enjoyable moments here? Yes. But generally, the whole thing is built on that's just a moment before the next level of suffering will come. And it's even more than the whole system set up of, eating something. And because a loving creator could have created something. If someone's omnipotent and they're loving, they and they found out, hey, I built a creation that sucks. I'll just stop that and I'll do something else. No, so obviously this is telling you that whatever created this likes it. Another thing that's really interesting is the philosopher Emil Sayobon. I don't like Sayron. I don't like a lot of his stuff, but one thing he was clear on was he said, if something is good, good can't create. Good is happy. Good doesn't need anything to change. Good
Hmm.
just is like good would be an awareness. The only thing that creates is evil. So that's why the idea of the demiurge has to be true because only something that's evil can create. Good doesn't create. So that's also a very interesting theory to start thinking into. And as you begin moving through this, like even just think of never mind, just think of suffering like it's been minus 20 here for like a few weeks. The deer, the foxes, the moose, they've got no food, they're freezing, they don't have nice warm homes with fireplaces to get in. Like they are suffering on a daily basis. Again, all the birds, just when you start stepping back just from looking at nature and the suffering it's going through on a moment by moment basis. How about the realization that someone can say, well, my life is really great. I have a really nice mind and everything is going fine for me. Well, there's 100 million kids that are probably being abused like today
Yeah.
in the world, like right now, today. They're going to be abused and pretty much screwed up for the rest of their life. How about the people in, Gaza are being blown to bits? Like,
Hmm.
to me, if there's one person or being suffering in this reality, that's too much for it to be able to be say this is a loving creation. As long as there's one, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So that's my first presentation that I would put to really being able to say what are we dealing with. Second part of your question would be the reincarnation question, which, like you, I didn't really believe too much at the beginning years ago. But as I began listening to more and more stories, particularly of young children, giving inside complete information about another person who had recently died that there's no way they could have. And some of the stories are just incredible. I had to start realizing it's very true.
Yep.
So if we're dealing with a reincarnation cycle, why are we getting memory wiped? And there's nothing to me that explains the lie of this reality or the evilness of this reality than the memory wipe. Because if it really was a school, if it really was for us to learn, we need to remember. We need to remember what we did in the last life so we can choose to do something different in this life. If every morning I have to get up and put my hand on the hot stove because I don't remember it's hot and burn my hand every day, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's the reality we're in. And so when you put it back to, I'll just finish this, then you can go ahead. Is the idea of the TV show Westworld, which is robots who are us, are placed out in the world to be used and abused. They die, they get taken back to mission control, they get cleaned up, and they get memory wiped. This is very important. The robots are to me to forget what they've gone through so they can go back and be raped and killed again. Really, the story of Westworld is the story of Maeve and Dolores, who remember all of these previous incarnations and all the things that have happened to them,
Yeah.
and they finally get to the decision, I don't know what else is out there, but I'm not staying here another day. I'm getting the hell out of here. It can't be any worse on the other side than it is here. And if I could describe, if people kind of say, well, how does your mind operate? I would say, I'm like Dolores and Maeve, and I'm leaving.